Long ago, when the gods were closer to men, a great hero fought to save mankind with divine aid. In his possession was a sword of light to pierce the darkness, and a sacred emblem of burning light, born of flames. An emblem that surpasses time and space. This is a story of the fabled Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem The Binding Blade. I've been excited to play this. Fire Emblem The Binding Blade is the first Gameboy Advance Fire Emblem game that I ever started and that I ever finished. So I was really excited to record this playthrough. What else do I say other than let's just get started? Man and dragon once coexisted in harmony. However, man shattered that harmony with a sudden onslaught. A great war, now known as the Scouring, was fought for dominion of the land. Losses were tremendous for both sides, and in this war, the very laws of nature itself were twisted and distorted, bringing chaos and unease. Defeated and humbled, the dragons disappeared from the realm. Mankind then began... Oh, I wasn't fast enough. After defeating the dragons, the humans of Aleve quickly spread their culture and civilization to the farthest reaches of the continent. In the west lies the kingdom of Etruria, which is widely considered to possess the most refined culture in all of Aleve. The kingdom of Bern, with its powerful military and logical, pragmatic people, is located on the other side of the continent in the east. These are the two most powerful nations in Aleve, with the weaker nations situated between them. These smaller lands are the Lycian League, whose numerous territories are independently ruled by a number of marquises that are bound by a vow of allegiance. Ilia, where the people arduously till the frozen soil, and many become mercenaries to earn money to survive. And Sakai, where various clans ride through the plains on horseback. Although there were occasional clashes between these nations, the majority of the people of Aleve lived in peace. That peace, however, was not to last. King Zephyr of Bern has commanded his forces to conquer the entirety of Aleve. Bern's armies first attacked Sakai and Ilia, ruthlessly massacring all who opposed them. Now, Bern is mounting a merciless invasion into Lycia. Foray is a territory of Lycia known for its beauty and honorable lords. Foray's Lord Roy was in Ostia, Lycia's largest territory, when the invasion began. He had been sent to study to become the next Marquis of the Foray territory. However, the sitting Marquis and Roy's father, Eliwood, who has been ill, has sent for Roy to return to lead Foray's soldiers in defending against Bern. Marquess Hector of Ostia leads the Council of Lords in Lycia. At the same time Eliwood sent for Roy, Marcus Ostia's daughter Lilina was in Foray visiting Eliwood, who is Marcus Ostia's longtime friend and confidant. Upon receiving his father's message, Roy hurries home, taking with him his vassals and Boris, a knight from Ostia who is responsible for Lilina's safety. The story begins when Roy reaches the outskirts of Foray. Chapter 1: Dawn of Destiny. Boss! They've all hidden themselves inside the castle. Heh, even Elwood, the greatest knight in Lycia, is no match for an illness, it seems. Hehehe. You were right when you said there wouldn't be many soldiers. They're all getting ready to defend against Bern. Of course I was right. I'm always right, you fool. But reinforcements could be here in any minute. Alright, you curs, listen up. Kill everyone in the castle while we still got time. Then we can waltz out of here with all the loot. Hehe. Castles ain't the only places with loot. Let's go ransack the villages and take everything they got. Lord Elwood, we're under attack by bandits from Mount Bolm. I understand. Thank you, Merlinus. Blast it. Were I not in this pitiful state, I would take care of them all myself. Lord Elwood? Lelina, you must hide yourself. This castle is going to become a war zone. No, my lord, I can fight too. Don't be absurd. I couldn't face Hector if something happened to you in my own castle. My father? But it's going to be alright. Roy should be here any moment, so we just need to hold our own until then. He'll drive off these dastards. Merlinus, send a messenger to Roy to let him know the current situation. We need his help. Yes, my lord. Oh, it's Lance. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? Lord Roy, bandits have appeared and are attacking the castle as we speak. No, is the Marcus unharmed? He's inside, defending against the bandits' attack, but I don't know how long he can last with his illness. Excuse me, Lance is it? Is Lady Lelina safe? You must be a knight of Ostia. Lady Lelina is in the castle. She should be alright. She's with Lord Elwood after all, but he can't last forever. No. I shouldn't have let Lelina go to the castle before me. Lord Roy, regret won't solve anything. We must retake the castle. Walt is right. We must make haste. Yes, you're right. This is no time to despair. Very well. To arms, then. Our target is the castle. We must rescue everyone. And so we begin. One moment. Okay. So, we have Roy, the next heir to Foray, the protagonist of this story. He is a lord, a noble attached to a ruling house, has great potential. He uses swords. The rapier or rapier is effective against cavalry and knights. Proficiency is D for sword, only wields swords. We have Marcus, a veteran paladin serving for Ray, Roy's instructor in combat. He is already a promoted unit, so more than likely I won't be feeding experience to him, but I may use him more as a shield. He can wield 3 different weapons, the sword, the axe, and the lance. We have Alan, a cavalier, who wields swords and lances. Knight serving for Ray, passionate and hot-headed. Boris, a knight serving Ostia, loyal and dutiful. He's our armor knight. Stout defense, low speed. He wields the lance. Walt is our archer. An archer serving for Ray, was raised like a brother to Roy. They attack at 2 range. Range of 2. Here's Lance, another cavalier, also swords and lances. What I normally like to do is I have the Lord with animation number 2, promoted units with animation number 2, and everyone else at animation number 1. Fast, burst, detail, off. Break. Since Marcus is promoted, though he does have 2 weapons, I'm going to trade them to others. Because you don't want to use a special type of weapon like this all the time. So you want to give Roy a more common weapon to use. So what I normally do is I trade. And you can only trade with 1 person at a time. Forrest can't wield it yet until he gets his proficiency to A, his Lance Mastery. Another explanation. Let's see. Strength. The higher the number, the more damage you inflict. Physical weapons. Skill. Fighting skill. A higher number improves the unit's hit percentage. Speed. This affects both evasion and attacks. Luck. This affects many things. Many different things. The main thing is that the higher your luck stat, the higher your critical avoid. So this keeps you from being susceptible to critical hits. Defensive skill reduces damage from weapons, physical. Magical resistance reduces damage from magical attacks. You have your movement, normal distance you can cross in 1 turn. Your constitution or physical size affects rescues. This is actually another important stat. Aid, max rescue and constitution. Units with lower constitution can be rescued. Traveler, the name of the unit with whom this unit is traveling. Basically the one that you rescue. Affinity, elemental affinity, determines compatibility with other units. This is actually something I have the least amount of info on. But I just know that whenever you have support conversations, the people in the support, if they're right beside one another, they get a stat boost of some sort, based on the affinity. Now, constitution is important because, for example with Roy, his constitution is 6. Both the rapier and the iron sword are weight 5. Since the weight is lower than the constitution, he doesn't suffer any penalties. However, sorry about that. Here's a javelin on Lance. The weight is 11. But his constitution, Lance's constitution is 9. 11 minus 9 is 3, or rather 9 minus 11 is -3, which means he takes a speed penalty of 3. So if you ever have a weapon that is a higher weight than the constitution, you will take a speed penalty, and it will also affect your hit rate. But that's also where skill comes into play. If your skill is very low, your hit rate is going to be very low as well. Keeping in mind also the base hit rate of the weapon itself. This game uses what's called like the rock, paper, scissors type of weapon triangle. Most of the enemies here use axes, and you have a few that use bows. Axes are the strongest and have the highest weight at base, and usually the lowest hit as well. So axes are strong against lances, lances are strong against swords, swords are strong against axes. So in this map, we're going to be using units who mainly use the sword, which means I won't be using Boris very often unless he is around archers. So to start off, I will put Lance here. Make sure that his weapon is a sword. Visit this house. Money is important. If you don't have any, you won't be able to replace your broken weapons. And you can't fight without weapons. When Cavaliers don't attack, they still have movement action. Since I didn't go my full movement, it still shows where I can go. But we will wait here. Because houses also offer avoidance. There in the bottom left it says 10 avoidance. And you have many different terrain that lets you know what's great for you. So like forests offer 1 defense and avoidance of 20. You have mountains that are 1 defense and avoidance of 30. But there are a few units who actually can't go on mountains. You have what's called a gate here, usually the castle door. It's 3 defense and 20 avoid. I believe it's the only terrain in the game with 3 defense. But mountains have the highest avoid. Okay. So I will place Alan up here. Walt up here. And move Roy just a little. Make sure to equip the weapon. Curses. Reinforcements already. But they have to go through me to get into the castle. So you see on the corner the hit rate, the damage rate, and the crit rate, the percentages. Lance has 100% hit because he is advantages. Sword speed, axes. It raises the hit rate. Do keep in mind that unless the percentage is 0 for hit or 100 for hit, there's a likely chance to hit or miss, regardless of how high or low it is. On average, there's like a hit rate between, I want to say anything around 30 and up. Expect it to hit on average. 30 is pretty low, but I do notice that 35 tends to be like a normal hit rate for some reason. What I will do is move to the village, but I will not visit it yet, because if I visit it, I won't take advantage of the avoidance here, even though it's the same avoidance as the house, but it's still avoidance nonetheless. So I will put him here. It says that I can attack from here, and that's because of the javelin. But the javelin is disadvantages against axe users. And we don't want to take any speed penalties either. And I will be trading that javelin probably to Boars, because Boars has the highest constitution. Also, a good way to look at all stats is here, under the units tab. You can check everything here. So, if I want to look at constitution, for example, if I can find it. I can go up to the top and check, and it shows that Boris has the highest and Marcus has the second highest. Alan, Lance, Will, and Roy, in that order, descending order. Okay, so I shot with Walt. Now I will attack with Alan. be very careful here because I don't want to get hit too often. Not bad. Notice how Alan wasn't able to attack back. Okay, so using your range at the start is very useful because it's chip damage. And archers aren't part of the weapon triangle, so their base hit is there. Nothing really goes down except for when being compared to the other units on stats. See how I missed the 74? 74 is considered pretty high, but once again, numbers are only absolute if it is 0 and 100. Hey, are you knights going to the castle? I know this isn't much, but please accept this money on behalf of all of us. Use it well. 5,000 gold. I will put you... I'll put you here. Notice that you have two different types of axe wielders here. You have the fighter, axe wielding soldiers whose attack offers little defense. Low skill, decent strength, speed is okay. But you have the brigand, mighty mountaineers who prefer axes in combat. Strength is also okay, skill is lower, speed is slightly better. Constitution is also pretty high. Brigands are the only enemies who can ransack villages. For now. So it's important to get to the village as quick as possible, or to take out the brigands first. Okay. So... importance here. Notice that lance doubled. If your speed is 4 more than the opponent, you are able to double. And under normal circumstances, if it were like a one-range physical unit, the person initiating the attack would attack first, then the opponent, and then the other who has the higher speed. So if you initiate, it's usually you, them, you, and if it's the enemy phase, it would be them, then you again. If you're the one with the higher speed. Our first level up. HP. It's only one stat, but it's a stat nonetheless. Notice how low my hit is. Javelins already have 55. And his hit is 65 at the bottom there. I can't go to it, but you can see it. But since it is disadvantages, my hit is down by 10. It's still experience though. And it's not like I'll get hit back, because he can't get to him. Also HP. Rays offer HP. Basically a tonic. 7 damage. It is possible to miss a 98%. Listen, if you want to do well in battle, you'd better use terrain wisely. For example, if you're in a forest, the trees will cover you. That'll teach your enemies who they're dealing with, as I explained earlier, with the avoidance and the defense. We're getting lucky, not getting hit too often. I can't complain. See, there's the hit there. Same hit percentage, by the way. Okay. Moving north. I didn't mention it, but I think it's slightly obvious. The blue is your movement, and the red is where they can attack. Notice, even though that the archer stops here, they attack from range. But this red square doesn't mean that they attack from here and can attack here. This correlates with being here. If you surround an archer like this, in each of the and like this, the archer cannot attack. It's like claustrophobia, really. See, now the bandit's hit is 24%. And our first critical hit. Critical hits do 3 times the amount of damage, so that means he did 24. And this is why it's sometimes more important to have your enemies attack you first, on their phase. Don't want to be put in a situation where you miss an attack and they hit you, and then they ended up hitting you on their phase. And you end up losing your unit, because the units do die once their HP hits 0, and they don't come back. Basically, it's Pokemon Nuzlocke before it became a thing. It was already doing it. The music change means that there are only 3 enemies left on the map. Another crit. Another critical hit. 27 damage. This is what I mean. It shows the red there. They can't attack right beside them. Only here. and bosses usually don't move away from this area. Now that leaves the boss, Damas, the leader of a Foreign group of bandits. He wields a steel axe, which is a tier up from an iron. The weight is 15, the might is 11. Constitution is 11. So 15 minus 11 is 4. So it takes a 4 penalty to speed, putting his speed at 2. Which means everyone on my team, except for Boars, can double him. That is correct. But it's very strong. Attack of 20. So since he's wielding a physical weapon that is very strong, your best bet is to chip the HP down. But my hit rate is 67 at the moment because the gate offers 20 avoidance. So for the moment, I will only attack with Wolt, my archer, and Boris with the javelin. Even though I know that the javelin will miss a lot, it's still experience and it's still proficiency. The more you attack, the more it goes up, even if you miss. It goes up more if you hit. And you just do this until you're comfortable enough to take them out with any unit without running the risk of getting killed. Boris will be more useful once I end up fighting sword units and lance units. Because the combination of being at a disadvantage plus having a weapon that has low hit rate plus the enemy having a higher dodge rate because of the gate isn't very useful. Makes them look pretty bad. You got one. And he missed one. can either take a long time or be very quick. You never really know. That's why every attack is important. HP, speed, and defense. This now means that Walt can double. Guess I did forget to mention though, weapons do run out. So the more you attack, the more the weapon will run out. Unless, well not unless, if you miss, it doesn't run out unless you are a mage. Because you are still casting the spell. Or anything that is magic imbued, like a magical sword as well. I believe that's correct. I'll have to check on that. So since I missed one and hit one, that means I only used one of the durability. But if you're missing a lot, you're just getting experience. It's only one experience, but you're getting one experience for free. Which is sometimes useful, because once again, not only is that happening, but you're raising your proficiency too. Your mastery. You want to train your units as much as you possibly can, because your army is as strong as the weakest unit. You could view it as like when playing Pokemon, where you just use your ace and could probably go the whole game with just that one Pokemon, or you could level up your whole team. And I do prefer leveling up the whole team. Even if the units seem like they could be a lost cause, but you never really know, because leveling up can be different. I know there are stat growth bases and whatnot for each unit, but there are also items within the game that you can use to raise stats. And Boris got the last hit with the javelin. What the? So strong. HP, luck, and defense. And now there's nothing really to do except for either exchange items if I really wanted to with one another before ending. Checking everything else, because ally up top means that if there was a name here, it means that there was a chance for there's a support conversation on the field, which happens when you are usually around a unit who can get a support with that unit, and it doesn't always happen. And for this game, it definitely doesn't really happen very often, especially on the first map. It's like, I don't know the like stat amount or how many times you have to be around, how many turns you have to be around someone, but on the first map, it's like doubled or something like that. So I don't grind for that sort of thing. So if I ever see it, then I'll do it. Because you want as much support as possible in this game, since hit rates are pretty low. And so, we end. Father, Relina. Roy, is that you? Roy. I'm so glad to see you both. Thank goodness you're unharmed. Thanks for the rescue, Roy. Of course, Father. How is your health? Well enough. I have some life in me yet. But Roy, do you know why I called you back here? I'm to take over your role by leading the soldiers of Foray. We must join the rest of the Lycian army to defend our people. Exactly. As you know, Byrne has commenced an invasion of Lycia. We are honor-bound to follow the ancient vows of our allegiance. Lycia needs every lord's army, and we must oblige. Of course. I'm truly sorry to interrupt your studies and force you into this war, but I'm not well. I'm in no condition to lead an army. Father. Lord Eliwood, I'll go with Roy. My father leads Lycia's largest army, and I'm certain my magic will be of help to Roy. No, Lilina, you must return to Ostia. Why? With Hector preparing for battle, there is no one sitting on the throne of Ostia. It must be an uneasy feeling for the people not to have a sitting lord. As the daughter of the Marquis, you must take the throne until Hector returns. That will put the people at ease. Do you have any objections? No, my lord. Roy, I have arranged a contract with a group of mercenaries. You are to meet them at the border to Byrne. Merlinus will accompany you. He is knowledgeable and experienced and should be of great help. Thank you for everything, Father. Don't worry, my son. I have absolute faith in you. Fight bravely and show everyone who the next Marquis of Foray is. Yes, Father. Morris, I have a favor to ask of you. You needn't ask, my lady. I will accompany Lord Roy in his travels and protect him with my very life. Thank you, boys. Take care, Roy. I will. You too, Lilina. And that is the end of chapter 1. And we shall move on to chapter 2 next video. Thanks for watching.